Why should you file and pay federal income taxes when the IRS is even leaving multi-millionaire non-filers alone? That's the topic I will cover for you tonight. I know most Americans are hurting. Price of gas, food, most everything is up. Your wages, your income is not keeping up with inflation. Let's have you keep your money safely, legally, but let's understand why you don't have to be afraid of the IRS. They're falling apart from within, just like the former communist Soviet Union. This is from government's own reports. I'm Payman Motahedeh, president of Freedom Law School, which I created in 1996. Our website is freedomlawschool.org. Let's go to the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration's report that came out just a couple months ago, April 8th, 2026, that the IRS has not successfully addressed the highest balance, that means the richest, Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act non-filers. That means people that do not file income tax confession forms and they have money in foreign accounts in other countries. Yeah. Now, I don't recommend that necessarily. Most people do not need anything offshore. Few of you, that's fine. If you have money over there, that's okay. But the point is that the IRS is unable to come after all these rich people. Why would they come after you, right? Well, let's look at the report, what it says here. Here's the summary of the report in the beginning, okay? Despite identifying hundreds of individual taxpayers with significant foreign bank account deposits, right, who failed to follow the forms to the IRS, telling them, oh, here's my money. They want you to tell them where your money is if you have an account with over $10,000 in there. But that $10,000 has been that number for decades, never indexed for inflation, right? So they got that information. They tell you they identified hundreds of these people. So later on, they summarize the key part, and they say that the IRS examined only 12 of the 164 taxpayers, less than 5% of the 405 non-filer taxpayers identified, most of which were closed as no change. No change at all, right? Campaign officials of the IRS cited limited resources and competing priorities within the examination function of the IRS as to why only 12 taxpayers were examined. Yeah. Let's get a little more detail on this thing of these guys have competing priorities and limited resources. Folks, IRS can't come after everybody. There's too many of us, okay? So let's look at this a little bit more closer. So here's what happened. They say that 164 taxpayers who had an average unreported foreign account balance of $1.3 billion. Whoa! These guys had over $1 billion each in foreign bank accounts. Not $1 million, not 10 million or 100 million. Over $1 billion each, right? These guys are not poor folks at all, okay? They were referred for possible examination. However, only 12 of the 164, less than 10%, were examined, with only five of them. At the end, only 5 of 164 of them, they had about $40 million in additional tax and $80,000 in penalties assessed. Yep. So you have to be in a really, really top class, over $1 billion foreign bank accounts, and out of 164, only 5, okay? Only less than 4%, that, they actually did anything with at all whatsoever. Okay? Now, look at this part. They say 241 non-compliant taxpayers who had an average unreported account balance of $377 million. That's a lot still. $377 million, it's a big number, folks. It's not some small change. I bet you none of you have $377 million in your bank account anywhere, do you? These guys were sent a combination of 225 educational letters. Yes, education letters requiring no response from taxpayers. So in other words, these are just scare letters, automated generated letters, right? And no response required. That's all they did with these guys, according to them, okay? And 16 soft letters, again, requiring taxpayer to respond. Okay, soft letters, whatever that is, requiring to respond. At the end, guess what? None of the 241 taxpayers were assessed the initial $10,000 non-filing penalty. 0. Wow. They already know about these people. Very rich non-filers have hundreds of millions of dollars in foreign bank accounts. Who knows how much more real estate they got? Stocks, bonds, commodities in America, in foreign countries, probably a lot more. Some got over $1 billion just in their bank accounts, not to mention how much stocks, bonds, real estate they have in America or offshore, and they don't file income tax. Oh, yeah. And they're not in jail. They're left alone. Folks, you know why they leave them alone? I'll tell you the number one reason why I leave them alone, and the number one reason is this. They did not sign the 1040 income tax confession form under oath, under penalty of perjury, and gave it to the IRS to hang them with. You see? Because what you don't know, you've been not told, is that the safest way to have the IRS leave you alone is to not file any 1040 income tax confession forms. Yep. The fact is, when you sign an IRS Form 1040 income tax slave confession form, and it is a slave confession form, you state under oath that you owe the IRS money. You don't believe me? Here, look at it. Here's a 1040 form on the second page. Sign here in big print. Next to it, in tiny, unreadable font, it has this language: under penalty of perjury, you declare that the examiner's return is all true, correct, and complete. Wait a minute, what is that? Under penalties of perjury mean? Did your accountant, your CPA, did he tell you what it means when you sign a piece of paper under penalties of perjury? Did you even notice that you sign a 1040 tax slave confession form under penalty of perjury, and no one explained to you what it is? Sound like you were sold a used car and didn't read the fine print. Let's see what the fine print says on his used car you were sold. Okay? Basically, it means throw me in prison if everything on this form is not true, correct, and complete. Yep. A 1040 form that your accountant, your CPA, could be 2 pages, could be hundreds of pages long, put before you to sign, and you have no idea basically what's in this thing. You just trust this human being with your life and your freedom. And on top of that, here's what you do. You claim that you owe the IRS money on 937 under oath, under penalty of perjury. Here it is. The form says amount you owe. That's right. And it says on line 37, this is the amount you owe. That's right. You owe, you say, on line 37. Boom, there it is. You fill in that blank form. You said you owe the IRS money. Whereas non-filers do not do that. They're free. They didn't confess against themselves. It's like you giving your neighbor a piece of paper saying, I owe John Doe $1 million under oath. And then a year later he comes and takes your bank account, takes your paycheck. You're going, what? What happened? Why are you taking my money? He says, well, because you owe it to me. What do you mean I owe you the money? I signed a piece of paper. Yeah, but you said under oath that you owe me $1 million. That's not right. I don't want to take to court. You must take me to court first. And your neighbor tells you, in court, already got your confession under oath that you owe the IRS money. Under your statement, under your penalty perjury, you said that. So you owe me the money, there's no dispute about it. But when you don't file a 1040 confession form, you are free. You have not confessed against yourself. The IRS now must come after you, just like your neighbor. If you don't confess to him, give him a confession form you owe him, they must make a case against you, and that's a tall order, just like your accountant. You see, the problem you experience is that you've been told all your life that IRS is a great and powerful IRS, so you got to file and pay income tax, otherwise you'll be in big trouble. Be scared. Are you scared? I am Wizard of Oz, the all-powerful mighty. File, pay. And you see Toto opening a curtain. That's me, showing you guys video in law school. They're just a scare job of the corrupt major media. The IRS CPAs and so-called tax experts tell you, you better file your taxes, otherwise you'll be in trouble with the IRS. So listen to me, you don't want penalties and interest, do you? See? You don't fall for that. This is the curtain being pulled aside right now. Here's the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration. This is, again, US Treasury's own auditor's report telling Congress that high-income non-filers, people who make a lot of money, high income, over $100,000 a year in years 2014, 15, and 16, owing billions of dollars, are not being worked by the Internal Revenue Service. This came out in report in 2020. Yep. So let's go look at this report and see some interesting facts in this thing. Here it is. In this page, here's what happens, okay? The Treasury Auditors, in this report, they've mentioned that they provide the IRS a list of the top 100 high-income non-filers by name. And I'm sure their slave surveillance number was given also. Social security number, so, right? Who owe an estimated $9.9 billion from IRS's own records, right? You would think IRS would be embarrassed to say, oh, gosh, how can we miss these guys? Oh, my gosh, we're so incompetent. We're going to get fired, lose our jobs. But no, they will not lose their jobs because they're bureaucrats. You cannot fire government agents. To get rid of them, they promote them to another division. That's what they do, okay? So they told these lazy, incompetent, disorganized IRS managers who don't know what the heck they're doing to go after them, right? And guess what happened? The auditors say that the IRS should, at a minimum, just agree to pursue these 100 high-income non-filers. However, its response of the IRS does not indicate whether it plans to pursue these. There's even no plans, no serious thought about pursuing these people. No plans. They don't even give it lip service. Oh yeah. Well, we'll go after them, boss. Sorry, we just slipped up on that one, but no problem. We'll go get them. And then, guys, don't worry about them. It's fine. You know, just giving lip service to these auditors. They come and go. You know, they're just Tell them whatever we want to tell them, and it doesn't matter. They just forget. They're going to go to the next report. Next thing they're going to do. It doesn't matter. We just tell them that. They did not even do that. They just gave the middle finger to the Treasury Auditors to say, no, we're good. We're going to get paid the same salary, same pension, same 4 weeks paid vacation, health benefits, pension, retirement, can't fire us. What you going to do about it, Mr. Auditor? Huh? Nothing. It's all good. It's all good for the IRS bureaucrats, right? That is the situation IRS is really in. They're leaving non-filers alone. See, what you didn't know is that according to IRS's best numbers, there's 63 million non-filers in America. That's right. This is a letter you see September 1998 from Department of the Treasury, Internal Revenue Service in Washington, D.C. And they're telling this guy, okay, Mr. Dwan Abel of Oregon, this very enlightening language. Let me make it for you centered because you're going to love the language of this eye-opening letter. It says that based on our 1996 tax filing program, we estimate, they don't know, but they estimate to guess. Their guess is better than yours or mine. There are approximately 63 million taxpayers who have not filed a tax return. 63 million, and initially would appear to have a legal requirement to file. That's people that what? They make above the minimum exemption amount. That's what the IRS means. They don't make like $2,000, $4,000. No. In today's money, they make at least $13,000, $14,000 minimum exemption. Above that, 63 million non-filers. And that this estimate, guesswork, is based on data available to the service IRS on the individual master file. They have your W-2 from your employer. They have the 1099 form from a company that you contract with. Or the K-1 from your partnership. They have these things already. That's where they get the numbers from. From these forms that third parties falsely, fraudulently sent to the IRS, telling the IRS that they paid you taxable income, which is not a truth. So, is there 63 million people in prison? Or 63 million losing a bank account and paychecks? Of course not. The number right now is probably around 80 million. We probably should increase what you have going on, okay? Now, the IRS is too busy and incompetent to go after 1040 from non-filers. They gave this in this other report, okay? Now, let me make it a little bit bigger for you guys to read because this is another exciting report. This came out in 2017, this report, okay? So, here's what it says in 2017 report that the auditors of the IRS gave, okay? The IRS claimed that since IRS does not get enough money from Congress, that in 2017, IRS was forced to focus IRS's workers on taking calls from Americans who have filed 1040 tax confession forms but cannot pay what they claimed to the IRS on their 1040 tax confession forms. IRS management decided to put going after Americans who do not file 1040 income tax confession forms on the back burner. Yes, they sure did. Proof is right here, okay? The word IA is installment agreements, and people want to make payment arrangements to the IRS. IA, that's what IA is, okay? So, IA requirement, people want to call on the IRS to make installment payment arrangements to the IRS, are customer-driven inventory. What does that mean? That means people are calling the IRS, hey, I'm afraid I confessed to owe you money on that 1040 form, but I don't have the money to pay what I confessed on my 1040 confession form. I'm calling you to make a payment plan so you don't take my bank account and paycheck because I will not be able to pay my rent or mortgage or food or utilities. That's what they mean by customer-driven. That means you, the slave, American slave, you call the IRS to make a payment plan. That's what they mean, okay? So because you call them, people that file confession forms are calling, that must be worked. They must take a call and let you make a payment plan. Well, it makes sense. I mean, if you had any business, you won't take a call from people that want to pay you money hey, just answer the phone. I want to send you money. Well, of course. What business wouldn't take a call from somebody who says, I just want to pay you money. It will not cost you anything except just take my call. Right? Well, the IRS is so busy, incompetent, disorganized, irresponsible, they do not have enough agents to even take your call, to take your money. That's what they're saying here, okay? Compared to discretionary delinquent return and notices. This is compared to people after non-files. There's their non-filer program they got, that lingo they got there, okay? So it's discretionary, optional to come after non-filers, okay, with delinquent return and ASFR TDI notices, okay? So, of course, IRS says, in this report, says this: without overtime funding, IRS needs more money, they claim. But that's not the problem. Discretionary programs, optional programs, such as coming after non-filer, were halted. And in the middle of 2015, to enable the IRS to stay somewhat current, not completely, somewhat current, with receipts of customer-driven inventory, like people calling to make payment plans. People that almost all of them have filed 1040 confession forms with the IRS, income tax labor confession forms, but just couldn't pay it. Okay? That situation hasn't changed. IRS still is in the same boat as it was back there, okay? So, what you do, I gotta understand is that, if the IRS is supposed to come after you, they must send you by law a letter called a Notice of Deficiency, which is an official tax proposal letter that gives you a chance to challenge the IRS's tax proposal in the U.S. tax court. Why? Because you have not confessed against yourself on the 1040 income tax slavery form. So IRS must make a proposal to you, tax in writing. And in America, land of the free, home of the brave, you have a right to a trial before you pay me even $1 with the IRS. That's right, let's bring the form up, okay? Before you pay $1 to the IRS, you have a right to be able to, challenge them in tax court. Here it is. This is a notice deficiency in the central thing. This chart is available at freedomlawschool.org, folks, how the IRS works coming after non-filers. So you're welcome to go to our website and read it all for yourself, okay? So when they do, you have a right to go tax court challenge them. But look at this. It is impossible for the 31 U.S. tax court judges to conduct tax trials for 80 million non-filers. That's right. There's way too many non-filers, 80 million. It's impossible. Look at this. This is from the website of the U.S. tax court. They have only 16 regular judges. The other 15 judges are senior and special trial judges who hardly do trials once in a while here and there, maybe. That's right. So there's no way they can come after us. There's just way too many of us. Okay? On top of that, look at this. IRS's computers are antiquated. That's right. 40 years of failure. IRS unable to fix their computer systems. This came out in March of 2002, about 4 years ago. Okay? Look, here's what this article says. For 40 years, the IRS has tried and failed to update its main computer system. Regardless of funding level and regardless of who controls the White House and Congress, the bureaucracy is simply unable to pull it off. The IRS and progressive Democrats continue to plead poverty and pretend the failure is due to insufficient funding rather than incompetence. But it is incompetence. Because socialism does not work. Central planning does not work. Government does not work. Okay? When they get your money and they don't have to compete for it to be efficient like a private enterprise, they get nothing done over time. Over decades, the incompetence becomes deeper, worse, and worse. And that's what led to this former communist Soviet Union, which was a brutal dictatorship from 1918, okay, all up to 1953, okay, under Joseph Stalin, Lenin, Stalin, and people after him. What happened? The process of destruction kept going and going, and by 1991, it imploded from within. That is what's going on with the IRS. So here's a compilation of key news articles documenting the IRS's failure starting in 1982, folks. That's 44 years ago. And this is all by mainstream sources like the New York Times. Here's another article by Time Magazine in 1985. Another article, from this time from the Washington Post. Folks, I can go through this. You see, every one of these articles document over 40 years plus. IRS simply cannot get its act together. They have over 100 different computers across America which are not connected. Can you imagine that? The systems are not connected. There's still fax or mail documents to each other, or maybe copy the whole reel of data and send it to the other office. That's how antiquated the IRS still is. They're dysfunctional, folks, okay? So here's what the IRS has started doing recently again, folks, because I've been waking you, the American people, to no longer be a slave. Guess what? In 2025, IRS heard a call. They heard that Freedom Law School is telling you guys, IRS is falling apart. Stop filing income tax. So they got scared. They started sending out scare letters, phishing letters to you, dumb computer-generated letters that no one's watching, to scare you into being a slave. Here's a few of them, okay? So here, look at this letter. This is said November 2025. It says at the top left, time-sensitive information, open immediately. You must file your 2020 tax return. We have sent you prior notices, but still haven't heard from you. This letter, folks, like the other letters, have name of nobody on them. They're not signed by anybody at all. Just as long as they know, you see the emblem of the vulture on top, that scares you, that's enough. That works. That's why they send them out to scare you to be a slave with a 1040 confession form. Here's the other one. Please file your missing returns, okay? Again, same thing, just simple scare letters. Name of nobody appears on them, okay? No one's signing up to you. No one is expecting a call from you. They expect you to be simply scared and on your own. Send the IRS a 10 for income tax confession slavery form on your own. Yep, no more, because now you know the truth. You won't be doing that to yourself. Here's another one. See, you need to file and pay your 2024 1040 tax return. Again, these are all harmless letters that no response required. This is what the IRS talks about. Look, when I mentioned here in this letter, okay, that here they said that they sent 225 educational letters requiring no response from taxpayers. Yeah, that's the kind of letters I just showed you, folks. Even these multimillionaires got letters, educational letters, requiring no response from American suckers. Yep, they try to sucker you to file these forms, okay? So the bottom line is go to freedomlawschool.org, folks. There you see at freedomlawschool.org you can restore freedom. Never again voluntarily pay the Washington, D.C. swamp legally and safely guaranteed. All you have to do is seek the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Yep. Click on the gold bar. Start the 7 easy steps to regain your power and freedom and your money. There it is. You go there. Step 1, follow the law. It's all from there. You see for yourself that based upon the official legal websites of U.S. governments, no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income taxes. Yep. 10-minute video right here starts it. As you drive to and from work, listen to the video, this 10-minute video right here. And at lunch at work, at home at dinner, watch and listen to it one more time. And it just goes from there. It's all bam, 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 easy peasy. Just follow the steps, okay? Okay, and then just step 4 is my favorite. One, question of authority. Petition to Congress, have all the laws in them. They've never shown us wrong in these petitions at all. It's for free. That's right, for free. Okay, and then you can educate yourself that IRS is really a powerless lizard, not the Godzilla myth the media created in your mind all these decades. And take courage from our victories, because none of our Freedom Law School students, none of them, we came to Freedom Law School clean and stop filing income tax with Freedom Law School first and stay with Freedom Law School, has ever gone to prison for federal taxes, for not filing income taxes, nor had their paycheck or bank account levied or home or property seized by the IRS. That is a record of Freedom Law School. And I myself have been filing paid for over 30 years. IRS knows me. We've been in court many times. Guess what? I'm free. Not paying them a dime. IRS never tried to even indict me, try to put me in prison for openly not filing and paying income taxes. Why? Because they know that I know there's no law that requires me or you, the people of the 50 United States, to pay this income tax slavery forms at all. You don't have to pay income tax by law. But they duped you that you're weak, that they're strong. No, you can stop income tax withholding from your paycheck for free by going to our website. Yes, you should go under right here, free yourself from tax withholding for free. Click on this thing, and it tells you how to, with your employer, stop them from stealing your money out of your paycheck. If you're business owner, no need for that. You can legally stop the withholding and then don't file income tax and be free. Take your paycheck whole home. Okay? So after all this, folks, if you want, you have an option, by the way, of joining a Restore Freedom plan where we guarantee you will not go to prison. We pay the lawyers to do all the legal work. And if they ever take your money illegally anyways, Freedom Law School will reimburse you in full. That's right. So that option is available. If you want to be part of the Restore Freedom plan, again, it's all available at freedomlawschool.org. Call us if you have any questions at 813-444-4800. 813-444-4800. And remember, my friends, I have no power over you or your life. You are in charge of your life. And the IRS cannot control you. They cannot enslave you except if they convince you that you're weak in your mind. You change that perception by educating yourself. You choose to go to freedomlawschool.org, and as you drive around, listen to freedomlawschool.org, our videos, watch everything for yourself, verify it. You be satisfied that what I'm telling you is the truth. Don't believe me, or the government, or the media. Verify the truth at freedomlawschool.org, and you'll be free and prosperous. Catch up with your bills, have some money for savings. Yes, be able to take vacations, have a better life, eat better food, because now you can afford it as a free person versus a slave. So with that, I give you all my love, and I wish you all the very best life can offer, and that starts with you giving yourself a chance to be free that you were meant to be at freedomlawschool.org now. Okay, let's get to your questions, my friend. I answer everybody's questions at no charge every Tuesday night at the Freedom Hour, because I love to help you guys to be free. And with so many people that follow us, there's no way I can meet with all of you one-on-one. So this is my chance to connect with you as individuals, as human beings, and try to help you guys all to be free just like me. Okay? Now, we have several people waiting to get their questions answered. Okay? From area code 434, we have the first caller. Then another one from area code, it's a foreign number. Okay? Now, area code 184 says, the web number. Okay, the web number. How do you do that? We have to learn from this guy. How do you make a web call number? We got to teach us that. Glenn is his name, apparently. All right, Glenn. However you did that, Glenn, I'm all for you. Okay, you got a message on there. And then we have another one, Amy, from another number called on the web. Well, how do you do that? That's great. We got to find out how that works, guys. Okay, you'll tell me later, okay? And then we have somebody from area code 20. That's from the District of Criminals. I mean, District of Columbia, they call it, but it's actually become the District of Criminals. That one of the highest murder rates in America is in Washington, D.C., and the people in the Capitol, U.S. Capitol, most congressmen are criminals. Sad to say. There are a few Thomas Massey's and people like him out there, okay? And then we got another one. Let's see, we got Amy, we got 202, and that's it, right? Yeah, that's all we got right now. Okay, no problem. We got 4. Okay, no problem. So, 434 area code caller. Please give me your first name, how I heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
My name is William, 434. Is that what you're asking, Payman?
Hold on. We can barely hear. Let me fix my sound thing. I'm sorry. Say it again, please.
William, 434.
All right, William, how did you hear about Freedom Law School?
I guess I think Marjorie Taylor Greene was interviewing you, or vice versa, and I started thinking about that. And, I've been trying to make a difference in our country, joined the Republican Party, got on the leadership and so forth, but every time I hear the government doing something that is like ridiculous, whether it's Fauci or going to war or subsidizing this abortion or whatever it might be, I thought, how am I going to make a difference? And I want to stop funding the criminals. And you came along and you were an answer to prayer. So I thank God for you. Here's my question. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My question is, I won't reveal it, but I work for an organization that most likely is not going to cooperate with me when it comes to filing exempt from federal income tax. And I want to join the Restore Freedom Plan, but let's just say I send you the money, and by the way, I don't really make enough, so it's going to be a $2,000 minimum with you. But what if my employer doesn't cooperate, in which case I'm still having the federal income tax withheld? What happens in a situation like that?
Well, that may happen. They call it a lock-in letter, which we're going to be planning to challenge them in court. And the reality is that if that situation came up and you have sent your petition to your congressman, okay, about, hey.
That's at the printer now.
Right. So you could file a 1040 income tax confession form under duress, which means by force. In other words, you say on a 1040 form, basically, you add a paper to it. Say, look, statement saying, I don't believe I'm required to file income tax at all. I've read the law, and I've checked it 3 additional times with each of my 3 lawmakers, my House member, my 2 U.S. senators, and asked them if I'm wrong to correct me. And none of them said I was wrong. Obviously, I am not required to file and pay federal income taxes. But because my employer stole this money out of my paycheck without my permission, to get some of that money back, I'm forced to do this, to fill out this form, which I don't want to do, to get some of that money back. Okay, and you can do that and get your money back. You still will be covered by the Restore Freedom Plan in that situation. And for people like you, again, I did that. And for people like you who are, wage earners, that's pretty much all you got. But know this, that 1040 form, I cannot protect you from what you put on that 1040 form as far as other deductions and credits and, all the other stuff that may be, all the kind of stuff, amortization, stuff like that. That part is on you. But if you have a simple situation like yours, simple wage earner, make a little bit, no problem. They will cover you for that, and that way you can get the money back, some of it, in case your employer is scared by the IRS, is forced to take out of your money all this money, way too much, even if you were to do file and pay income tax. Okay?
Well, yeah, except that if I file under duress, I might still owe additional tax.
Well, then don't file at all. Well, no, that won't not be the case. No, that's not correct. No. The IRS tells the employer to treat you as you were single with 0 allowances. No wife, no kids, no nothing. You can't get any less than that. There's no way you can owe the IRS more than single 0. That's why they do that. They deliberately do that to maximize withholding out of your paycheck to absolute top allowed in any circumstance. So you're always going to get something back, a little bit or a lot more, if you file a 10 for income tax, slavery, confession form with the IRS. That's why they do that. So no, you'll get something back. Or if you're single with no wife, no kids, you'll be even Steven, so maybe you don't file at all.
But I have other income besides my employment, quite a bit of other income. So by filing that form and just what I have taken out by my employer, if I file and answer all the questions, including my unearned income, quote unquote, then the math of their formula might still say, well, you owe us even more than was deducted from your paycheck because this is a part-time job. I have other sources of income.
Guess what, William? I got good and bad news for you, brother.
Okay.
Look, you can quit that job, tell the employer, I got a lot of other income, quite a bit of other income. I don't need that job from you, that stinking job. If you do that, I'm leaving. Go find someone else who's incompetent to replace me. Okay? You don't have to do this at all. Don't take money out of my paycheck. I was going to lose me. Okay? There's no consequence for you negative if you ignore this IRS's dumb computer-generated lock-in letter. So that's your option. You could tell the employer, yeah, I'm my only source of income. I got quite a bit of other income, like you said. That's your option 2. Option 3 is that you say, well, okay, I cannot control my employer, but I love this job. I love my coworkers and my boss. Even though he doesn't love me enough to not steal from me for the IRS, I'll still want to work with him and take the lumps and say, okay, there's only maybe 1/10, only half my other income. Everything else is income tax free. Oh well, just go along with it because most of my income is income tax free anyways. That's your other options.
Got it. Those are helpful. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you.
You are welcome.
God bless Freedom Law School.
God bless you, my friend. Thank you for calling. Okay, we're going to go to Glenn, who asked how to handle self-employment when using subcontractors or other independent contractors, and they request a 1099. Oh, that's easy. Very easy. Your subcontractors do not need a 1099 form from you. They don't. They're supposed to, if they're required to file income tax on their own, write the number on the 1040 form. I received $50,000. $500,000 from whatever source they get the money. No different than somebody that sells lemonade on the street corner for cash. Nobody 1099 is that person. All the customers pay him cash. Lemonade for $3, for $5, they're good. They go home. You're supposed to on your own count all the cash from selling lemonades. At the end of the year, you say, okay, I received $100,000 of cash. I got, $20,000 in cost of lemons, right? And whatever else. I netted $80,000. Put that on the 1040 form. They don't need a 1099 form. All they need to do is a number from you. Hey, I paid you last year $85,229.84. That's a correct number. Now, you want to pay income tax on that, be a slave? Go ahead. Be my guest. Before you do that, though, let me help you. Give you one of these brochures called Fast Track Your Success. Lawfully and safely pay no income or payroll taxes with 100% guarantee, like me. You can do that because in this brochure in 10 pages, you'll see why no law requires 99% of Americans, like you and me, to file and pay income and payroll taxes. You want to go and give your money away? Go ahead. You want to keep your mind closed and not listen to it, read even 12 pages? That's up to you. But I'm giving the tool right here. If this guy's wrong, $50,000 will go to you. But if you are okay with inflation, cost of food, gas going up, be in debt, you could do that. Go ahead. But as far as filling out 1040 form, I give the number. Last year I paid you $55,829.64. There you go. You're good enough. All right? Yeah, you got a question? Well, how do I answer questions when he's on texting? She's on the phone? Okay. She's on the phone, Glenn? Okay. Okay, can I hear him? I don't know. How do I hear him? Are you there, Glenn? To ask the question by voice? No. She couldn't do that. She left. Okay, answer the question. Okay, good enough. Yeah, it was easy. It was an easy question, you know? All right, we took care of Glenn. Now we got Amy. It says question about back taxes. Well,
Hi, Payman.
Hello, Amy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Amy.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for taking our call. Amy is actually an alias. We're members with you guys since 2024. And we have back taxes from 2018, 20. 20 is paid off. 18, 19, 21, 22, and 23. And before we joined with you guys, trying to resolve our back tax issue, we had gone, I'm not going to name the firm name, but they're a big one, and they're always advertising, we'll lower your tax debt. Anyways, after many years, all they did was got us in a payment plan, took our money, and now that's our situation. We owe close to $100,000 in back taxes with so much accrued interest that it's impossible to pay off. We did sign the 1040 form for those years. And, you know, we've received lien letters on our business, just every type of letter you can imagine. And we don't know what to do. I mean, we're paying them the minimum installment that we can pay them. And, you know, what do we do if we stop paying them? Is there any repercussions? You know, we're kind of in a tough situation with our back taxes right now.
Well, Amy, you know that as a Restore Freedom Plan member, because you and your husband are part of the plan to restore America to the freedom envisioned by America's founding fathers, like you see in the picture I have on the screen, okay? You get unlimited consultation with anybody here can help you. If they cannot, it goes up to me. You don't have to call here at all. This is for someone who's not a member. You can talk to me if necessary to help you with this situation, because we can help you. We'll do our best, given the reality that, as you said, previously you were told, deceived into filing in these confession forms, or the IRS about $100,000. Here's the reality of the situation, bottom line. It's not a pretty picture, but in reality, you do have some options, okay? And the option is that you realize that the IRS cannot and does not come after most people that levy the bank account and paychecks. Okay? That's a fact. I can show it to you right here from the website of the taxpayer advocate. Okay? You see now step 3. Okay? And step 3, IRS's deception and bluff. On point number 4, that IRS's forced collections levies are down by more than 90% since 2011. In 2010 and 11, they made about 3.6 and 3.7 million levies taking people's bank account paychecks. That's the old IRS. Let's start falling apart. Consistently since 15 years ago. And you can see on this chart that every year levies are down, but the liens are the light blue line below that. Liens, by the way, don't mean anything. You mentioned liens, Amy. Lien means nothing. Lien is only a claim. Under the real estate, you may have in a county where you live in your name. If you sell or refinance that home, then before you get paid any money, the IRS get that money first. So you can simply just do not sell your house, let the tax expire, you'll be just fine.
Well, that's the big thing for us. You know, we would love to buy our first home, but, you know, we can't because, you know, we're in a very expensive state, and it's, you know, either, you know, pay the IRS or, you know, roof over your head. So what do we do if in the future we want to buy a home and we still haven't been able to pay this back tax off because it's, we've been paying for a few years now, and the accrued interest, it's so bad that it just doesn't make a dent in it. And part of our deal with this firm was that there would be no interest. And then they came back to us and said, well, the IRS can actually charge interest despite what we told you. So it was just a mess.
How much you pay in the IRS every month?
$1,425.
That's times 12 months. That's about close to $17,000 a year. Okay, all right. Well, again,
but there's there's like $9,000 of accrued interest. I mean, every year is different. $9,000, $6,000 penalties. It just never goes down from that 90. I think it's like $94,000.
Okay. Well, look, all I can tell you, I don't have an answer for you, unfortunately. That's the problem with 1040 income tax confession forms. When people sign it, I can get you out of that confession form. And I mean, I'm trying to do the best of a bad situation that you have because, like you said, you were deceived into signing those 1040 income tax confession forms. But I'm telling you, options are really in your own hands. I cannot tell you which way to go because it depends on you. There's three options basically that you have. Okay, actually four options. One is to keep up with the payment plan you got. Option two is to make it smaller. Okay, make it $200 a month if that's all you can afford, or $500 a month if that's all you can afford. That's you gotta pay for rent and food, necessities first. So that's a decision that only you could make for yourself. Okay. The other options are twofold. Pay me in full to sleep better, but I don't think that's an option for you because that doesn't seem to be in the cards for you financially to pay me in full and get it over. Okay. Another option is, as I said, IRS is not levying people. Levy is what matters, not liens, Amy. Levies are down by over 9%. That's taking bank accounts, paychecks, third parties paying you money, commissions, otherwise. That's down by over 90%. So knowing that reality, and the IRS does that because they don't have enough agents to answer your phone calls if they levy your bank accounts, if they levy your paycheck. Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. They don't have any savings. So if they take your bank account or paycheck, you're going to be on the phone with the IRS, visiting the IRS office closest to you, calling the taxpayer advocate office, and or your congressman, and that's going to create a lot more work for the IRS. That's not worth it for them. It's not worth it for them.
Okay.
So I'd rather leave you alone. That's why they've done this. It wasn't for you as a favor because they love you. They care about you. Well, they've done over 9% drop in collections, forced collections, because it's just too much work for them to try through a congressman, for example, or taxpayer advocate office, look to see what's going on with someone with the IRS and communicate back and forth, all the coordination. It's just so much difficult for them. So that's why they just said, look, forget about it. Let's make it easy for ourselves, for the IRS. So what some people do, they say, okay, I'm not going to pay them at all. Let them come after me. I'll put that money, that $1,425 aside in a savings account, in gold, in Bitcoin, whatever you want to do someplace. Well, usually not in a bank account because the IRS can take it any time. But you can if you want to, but it's the risk of them taking it. So I'll put it aside someplace. And if the IRS does take my money, then I'll just, have the money saved up already. If they take my bank account, there's $5,000 under. Well, that's okay. I had other money saved up, another $10,000 already put aside to be able to take that hit. So there is no easy answer on a situation like that. And then, if you want to send some money here and there, $200 here, $2,000 there, you can do that too. But I'm sure there's no easy way out of this. Just got to be patient because 10 years after these 10 for income tax confession forms were filed with the IRS, the tax goes poof, disappears 99% of the time.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Thank you. And just to briefly mention, the lien letter did say that they could garnet, levy our and take whatever we had in our bank accounts.
Mm-hmm. Of course they say that.
Okay.
What do you hold on, Amy?
Firm,
what do you expect the IRS lawyer to say? You expect them to say, "Hey, you know what? We know you're really hurting. We know you can't afford as much. You know, we'll love you. We're gonna let you go easy. If you cannot pay us, we understand." No, of course not. What they're going to say is, "Be scared. We'll lien you everything you got. Levy your bank account. They'll lien you this, that, the other. We might put you in jail and penalties and interest and blah, 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 blah. Scared. Be scared." Of course they do that. That's just a standard form letter on that junk computer-generated letter that the computer sends out to you. There's nobody watching you, Amy. There's no Dave or Susie or Charlie or Frank at the IRS who sent a letter to you and your husband to say, "I'm waiting. Okay, Amy, I'm waiting. I give you 20 days, 30 days. Come on. If you don't, I'm going to come after you."
One
Me.
last question.
That's not the way it works. The letters are meant for you to feel that way, make you believe that, but it's simply not true. Okay?
One last question before I let you go. What's the possibility of us being able to, buy a home with our situation?
Well,
like with the
first,
IRS,
you could buy a home, but not the conventional way.
Well,
let's see. You can buy a home. Well, probably a bank will not lend you money, a regular bank loan, because they see the lien. They say, "Well, we don't want to, have you buy a home, and then knowing that you have a lien, that means the IRS has claim on your house before us. So bank or regular mortgage company will not lend you money. That's just the way it works." Now,
okay.
You can buy houses by creative financing, like for sale by owners, where, for example, the guy wants to sell a home for, let's say, $400,000. I'm making up a number, okay? And for example, and then in that situation, you give the seller a $100,000 down payment. You say, "Hey, look, lend me the other $300,000. Agree that I'll pay you, okay, in the next for 7 years. I'll pay you 10% interest, for example, on $300,000, okay, every month payments. You're making good money. Your money's invested in a good, secure investment at 10% interest, and you got the security that we put a $100,000 down payment. And after 7 years, for example, we can refinance it and pay you off at that time." You can make that kind of arrangements if you want, potentially. So if you really want to buy a house right now, that way you don't have to rely on a bank financing situation at all. So you might do it that way. But let me tell you one more thing, Amy. You know the inflation that we're having right now is breaking people's back in America. For the last few years, affordability has been a problem.
Right.
My background, you don't know, is in finance economics. Back in the 80s, I studied economics in college, finance in college. And I was taught about the business or money cycle of inflation and recessions that repeats itself every so often. Okay? And I'm telling you, scientifically, you know when these are coming up. Now, you don't know exact timing, but you know it's going to go up and it will come down. And I was one of the few people that predicted the 2008 Great Depression that you remember. I told people, don't buy a house in 2005. The top is near. Did not know how near, but I knew it was coming. Sure enough, April 2008, things crashed. I'm telling you right now, we're in a stagflation situation with inflation and some unemployment. When it gets worse, a bigger unemployment, when interest rates go up higher, we're going to be another Great Depression. And guess what? Real estate prices will crash again, like happened in 2008. You can buy houses there cheap then. So for right now, rent a nicer home. Why would you want to buy a house now, like in 2006, knowing that in a couple of 3 years, your house, you'll lose 1/3 to 40% of its value within a year? Why would you do that? Does that make sense? No. Doesn't make sense to buy a house knowing that it's going to lose its value. So what do you do then? Well, it's very simple. You be smart. You say, oh, I know home ownership is a nice concept. It is. but it's not the right time. Right now is the time that you rent and the market crashes, then you buy. Let yourself be the smart one. Let the one that knows that our money systems are fraudulent. Federal Reserve System, the Central Bank of America is privately owned by a bunch of crooked criminals, by the Zionist billionaire gang of Epstein. They own the Federal Reserve. Okay? And so this situation will repeat itself. Let some other uninformed American who doesn't know, doesn't care, let them be in the housing market right now. You wait patiently. Okay, rent right now the house you want, and in a few more years, 2 to 4 years from now, the market crashes, maybe even sooner. Maybe 1 to 4 years, probably there'll be a crash. That I can tell you that. And you buy it a lot cheaper, you can afford it, you can put your money aside, you can buy maybe even cash, or 50% down payment because the price has gone up so much. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome, Amy. Thanks for calling. Okay, we have several new callers. 202 area code caller is next, and then the 317 area code caller, followed by a call from area code 919, another one from area code, Jimmy Waldron. Okay, Jimmy's calling, okay. We have a call from Jimmy. Jim, we got to find out how this new calling system works, guys. These guys are ahead of us on this stuff, Okay. All right, 202 area code number from the District of Criminals. What is your name? How you heard about us? And then your question, please.
Okay. Well, I'm laughing. I know the area code has a bad reputation. My name is Jessica. I heard of you on the MTG Marjorie Taylor Greene interview. Mm-hmm. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Okay,
yes.
Great. Thank you. And well, first, before my question, I just want to say thank you so much. Your website, your material has just been a wealth of resource for me. I'm in the studying phase of this, and I just had maybe a quick question, which is going to good old the definition section 7701 with the United States and states definition. I'm just curious on your take of the United States definition when it's read, translated. It says in the geographical sense is the District of Columbia and the District of Columbia. Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious if that question makes sense. What your take on that is?
Well, it is like you said. That's what it says. I'm going to bring it on my screen for you guys to see. Okay.
Right.
It says the term United States in the geographical sense.
Or is there something behind that?
What's that?
Oh, sorry. Is it just sort of more trickery, like word trickery, or is it something behind it? Like one of those District of Columbias means the enclaves and territories, and the other means the city itself, or?
No, it means what it says. Remember that the lawmakers have the power to define things any way they want. That's the bottom line. Just like, for example, you guys know, by the way, let me tell you something about definitions. Jessica, do you know I'm a liberal, gay, progressive man. I'm all for life-serving, gender-affirming care. The way I and you define it, not this crooked communist Satanists. See, definitions matter. Liberal means generous. Give me a liberal portion of that piece of cake. That's what it means. Thomas Jefferson, founding fathers, were liberal. They were generous. Okay, they were for freedom. But communists and socialists stole that label, call themselves liberal, but they're not. They're actually tyrants. The opposite. They claim that they're for progress. They call themselves progressive, which means you and I are for regressive, going back to slavery. It's the other way around. We are for freedom like the founding fathers. They don't want to take us back to slavery and tyranny. Also, I'm a very happy, colorful guy. I like colorful ties like the one I'm wearing, the U.S. flag, okay? I'm much more colorful ties when I was younger, too, okay? So I'm for fun, jovial, colorful. That's what the word gay means. I'm not homosexual. I'm happily married with children. Okay, and I'm all for saving lives. And affirm that you're gender, you're a woman, I'm a man with care and love. Not this chemical and surgical castration, mutilation of people that they call gender affirming care. So you see, the words do matter. You got to go by the words that they deliberately define differently than your dictionary. So, and that is what the Supreme Court case of Gould versus Gould says, okay? In my videos, I'll cover this issue, okay? What does it say? Gould versus Gould, unanimous tax case, 9-0 case. I'll read it with you here. It's available on my screen. You see the exact wording of that. I'll read it for you right now. In their interpretation or understanding of taxing statutes, tax laws, it is established rule not to extend their provisions by implication beyond the clear import of the language used. That's right. Beyond the clear import, clear meaning shown in a language, you cannot read beyond that. There's no implying period. Or to enlarge the operation of the tax laws so as to embrace matters not specifically pointed out. If somebody's not specifically pointed out, it's simply not there. And if you have any doubts, doubts are resolved in favor of the citizen not being taxed. Okay? So that is just so clear that you have to read the tax laws in that view, with that kind of a construction. Other than that, you're going to be confused. So if they want to define the United States as being District of Columbia versus at plus a District of Columbia, they can do that. Right? And who am I, you, to question it?
Sure. And so you don't, there's nothing there around the redundancy of that. It's just if they say it, they say it. As
they say it. Hey, they want to do it, they do that.
Fair.
You know?
Fair.
Yeah, they could do it if they want to. In fact, there's no redundancy because back in 1913, do you have that 1913 law? Could you have on the screen for me, the first law? Okay? Back in 1913, the very first modern day income tax law that Congress wrote, okay, in 20th century, okay, in one sentence, the Congress wrote the law that said that state and United States mean this, the exact same thing. So this all goes back to 1913. That deliberately Congress defined states and United States as the same. So later on, they separated state and United States, you know, and that gave the implication that they may be different, but they are not. Okay, they all really have been the same because that's the way it was back then. Still is the same. A state and the United States are the same. So is that coming up? It's not coming up for some reason on our website. We had that. No, we have it on our thing, don't we? On our statutory hub. Should be. Let's get it put on a statutory hub. That's how that works. So I'll bring them in a second for you. You'll see it for yourself. But when I came across this, I was so excited. I said, "Oh my gosh, there it is, USource." Let me get it on my screen for you guys. You'll see it. Here we go. There it is. I got it for you guys in big print. If you look at my screen, those of you have it. This is 1913 law that says, I'm going to read it for you guys, there shall be levied, assessed, and collected and paid annually upon the net income of every citizen of the United States. Okay? And every person residing in the United States. A tax of 1% and more, right? And upon the net income from all property owned and of every business, trade, or profession carried on in the United States by persons residing elsewhere. So you could be a foreigner and have real estate in business in D.C., you have to pay income tax back in 1913. But look at the definition of the term, United States and state in this law. It is absolutely eye-opening. Look at that. That the word state or United States, when used in this section, shall be construed to include any territory, Alaska, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and the Philippine Islands when such construction is necessary to carry out its provisions. They knew the rule of law, but Congress wrote the law back in 1913 that everything must be specifically and clearly be shown in the tax law that is subject of the tax. So they wrote the law correct constitutionally. They just carried on the same tradition. Instead of state and United States being one sentence be the same thing, they have them in two different sentences. Same results. Okay?
Wow. Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, I hadn't seen that yet, so I'm going to revisit that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You can watch this video again. And, Bobby, we have the Statutory Hub on our website. Where is that? Can we show the guys? I'm going to, my assistant, bring on our website all these legal sources. We have them one page on our website. Okay, I'm going to show you how to get it. You go to freedomlawschool.org. On the educational tab, you go down near the bottom, Statutory Reference Hub. Statutory Reference Hub, click on that. And all the legal stuff, thank you, that we rely upon, all this stuff is on this page. United States Code, Supreme Court cases. On the left-hand side is the table of contents. Everything that you want to know, click on the source. It's there. Highlighted, the original version, it's all there. So please help yourself to all that. Thanks for calling. Anything else, Jessica?
Thank you. That's it. Thank you so much, Payman. This is great. Thank you.
My pleasure, Jessica.
Okay.
Okay, we have 317. Area code caller. Next. Please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Good evening, Payman. My name is Dan. I live in Northwest Indiana. Just have two quick comments for you.
Mm-hmm. How did you hear about us, Dan?
Letters.
Dan, how did you hear about Freedom Law School?
I heard about you. Okay, I'm sorry. I heard about you from a broadcast on the Sons of Liberty a couple years ago. It may have been Tim Brown's show. I'm not certain.
Okay. Very good. And how may I help you?
I just have a couple of comments. I used your form letter that generates to our specific lawmakers. It's a very cleverly worded letter. I sent those out to them with certified mail. No response, of course. There is no response they can make the way you've worded that letter. They can't point to the law that says I have to pay taxes because it doesn't exist. And they're certainly not going to say, oh, you don't have to pay taxes. That would be an interesting precedent. There is no response to this letter. I think it's very clever.
Yep.
And I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Secondly, I received IRS love letters from 2024, the CP 59, CPS 518, LT 26. I'm just ignoring them. I responded to the first one, and the second one said, we haven't heard from you. Well, of course you have, but you're not paying attention, so there's no point in me responding to those.
Correct.
Are there more that come after the LT 26, or did they just give up at that point?
Mm-hmm. Well, most often they do, because there's about 80 million non-filers, and if they want to come after a non-filer, they must, by law, mail you a notice of deficiency, okay, which you can see on my screen. And this, understand the IRS's progression of letters the IRS sends out, it's on there, notice of deficiency. And that gives you the right to challenge the tax in a U.S. tax court. And the IRS, guess what? They don't want to do that because the tax court is already overburdened and busy. That's the notice of deficiency on my screen you guys are looking at. They already cannot handle the volume. They don't have enough IRS appeals officers who have to meet with you first. The most experienced IRS examiners are the IRS appeals officers. They don't have enough of those agents to meet with you and talk to you about making the deal. So they simply cannot handle the volume. Otherwise, instead of tax court cases taking maybe 1 or 2 years, end up taking maybe 4 or 5 years or more to complete. So they cannot come after all of you, or even a small fraction of you. Okay, so they have to leave vast numbers of you alone over 99% of the time. If you don't file a 1040 income tax confession of slavery form, you'd be left alone. Less than 1% of the time, they may come after you. So that's why I'll give people the choice. Look, you don't have to pay me nothing at all. You can keep your money 100% yourself. It's your money. You work hard for it. Keep it. But the reality is that there's less than 1% chance they may come after you. That's why the Restore Freedom Plan is there. If you're willing to work with other like-minded freedom seekers like yourself, like America's founding fathers did, to get together and back each other up, well, then the Restore Freedom Plan is for you, which is what? 30% of what you would have otherwise paid the IRS. Give it to our Restore Freedom Plan to protect you, all for one for all, just like America's founding fathers did. And then the other 70%, you get to keep with the guarantee you will not go to prison. Okay, one. And 100% guarantee means that as long as you remain a member of the Restore Freedom Plan, Freedom Law School will prevent the IRS from levying your money. We do all the legal work for you. We pay the attorneys, and we'll reimburse you if the IRS takes your money anyways. $10,000, $10 million or more. Doesn't matter. Risk is on us. You have zero risk. So you have options available, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you for taking my call, Payman.
You're welcome.
Looking forward to receiving my 2025 IRS love letters. Have a blessed evening, friends.
Thank you, my friend. Same with you. Same with you. Okay. Let's see. The 919 area code caller got tired and left. We have, let's see, we have a 484 area code caller. And then we have the, let's see, 51 area code caller. Also on the list. And then we have a 36 area code caller. Well, I think Jim was here first, wasn't he? I think Jim was here first. Yeah, he was. Yeah, let's go to Jim. Iowa State Income Tax. Jim has a question. What's on your mind, Jim? What do you want to know? Tell me how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
I don't remember where I heard from you first. It was on some podcast. And, of course, my name is Jim. Can you hear me?
Speak up, please.
Yes, I'm speaking to my laptop, so there may be an issue there.
Just keep the microphone close to your mouth, my friend. That will help us hear the audience to hear you better. Go ahead.
This year, I have not taken any salary. I've taken payment from my corporation as repayment of a loan I made to the corporation previously to pay off corporate debt. I'm retiring now after 48 years and selling my building, my commercial building, and my accountant owe $87,000 in capital gains tax. I'm open to not reporting it federally, but I'm wondering how Iowa will react if I don't file. And it's one thing to say I won't go to jail, but I don't want to have to spend my time in court either.
Okay. Well, let's see. We have could have been estate taxing on our website. Well, we have on our website a page that will bring you up right now. Here you see it on the state income taxes. On the educational tab on the top center left, click on state income tax, open maps, and you see state income tax. You scroll down. Okay. Here you see a list of cases of states. And the ones that are in yellow, those are the states that piggyback on the federal tax law or forms. So if you do not owe the IRS any money, you don't owe the IRS, the state any money either, and Iowa is one of those states that falls the federal. So since you don't owe any federal, you don't owe any state income tax Iowa either. And you may be able to qualify possibly, sounds like, if you want to get a guarantee for state income taxes also. We offer that protection on a case-by-case basis. That would be 25% of your membership, in addition to the federal membership for your federal membership. For example, your federal protection membership is $10,000. To protect you from Iowa would be another $2,500. Okay, so that's a possibility we can discuss in a one-on-one consultation. And that we don't have to worry about Iowa at all. Any questions?
What about that percentage of people that are pursued you say they don't have to go to jail, but do they have to spend any time in tax court?
Anything the IRS comes after you, Freedom Law School will prepare the paperwork for you. All you have to do, we email it to you, print, sign, and mail it out, and give us a response back. We do all the work, attorneys, as necessary. We will retain them. We pay the attorneys for you. Okay? And at the end of all that stuff, if you ever lose, they take your money anyhow, $10,000, $10 million or more, doesn't matter. Whatever the IRS takes from you, that amount out of our funds, we'll reimburse you, make you whole, and therefore you have no risk.
I wonder if I spend spending any time in court.
I'm sorry, you got cut out. Say it again, please.
So, is there any possibility I would spend any time in court, whether I win or not?
The question, if I hear you got cut out, is if you have to spend any time in court. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Well, I have very, very, very few cases where the person had to go to court at all in the past. Okay, I cannot say I've never had that. I did have that, okay? But now I'm proved upon that. Now even learned some lessons about how the courts do this, that, the corruption, the games they play. So now I can do it without you ever going to court at all.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Jim. My pleasure. Thanks for calling. Okay. Let's now go to the other call we have from area code 484. 484 area code caller. Please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please. Are you there? From area code 484 caller? No, I guess that's, here we go. All right, let's try again. 484 area code caller, what is your name? One more time, call from area code 484. Please identify yourself. Okay, he's not answering. We're going to go to the next caller. We have from area code 510. Then go to a call from area code 360 after him. 510 area code caller, give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
My name is Paul, and I believe I first heard of you from the Kim Iverson podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you kind of answered my original question, which was, are we responsible for capital gains if we go through your school? And I'm understanding that we do not have to pay.
That's right.
Capital gains.
That's right. It doesn't matter where your money is from: stocks, bonds, real estate, rental, sales, investment, crypto, or business, or wages, salaries, commissions. Doesn't matter from what source. Your money is not from the country of the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., where the income tax applies. Washington, D.C. is foreign to you, as is France, Egypt, or Japan. I'm from country of Florida. America has 50 countries in a union. California, Texas are countries same as France. Germany and Italy are countries within the European Union. The union government in Europe has certain specific limited powers. They have the common money. There's no more checks and borders between France and Germany. Just like Florida and Alabama, there's no more checks between borders of the states. So the Washington, D.C. government is literally a foreign, distinct, separate government from the 50 states. And if you have income from within that territory called the Washington, D.C., or you are a citizen or resident of that country of Washington, D.C., you have to pay income tax. Just same as if you had income from France or Japan Or if you're a citizen or resident of Japan or France, you have to pay income tax there. But you don't. You're not from any of those places, so you are free. Okay?
That is wonderful. Another question, Payman, is I just recently retired, and I know that Social Security, right now, there's a limitation on how much I can earn for Social Security. And I believe that they find that out from probably reporting to the IRS or the Fed. And so my question is that is Social Security going to find out? I'm asking because I do have capital gains on. I cashed in some investments. I'm going to have capital gains. So my question is Social Security going to find out and punish me or penalize me because of those capital gains, or do they talk to the feds, and if I don't file, therefore they won't get any report from the Fed? How does that work is my question.
The answer is simple: no. Social Security does not talk about all that with the IRS and vice versa. Whether you file an income tax does not affect in any way your Social Security payment. If down the road don't file, if the IRS comes after you and after you challenge the IRS after all those years, if you lose to the IRS, they could at that time potentially take up to 15% of your monthly Social Security payments at worst. But there's no automatic thing of them notifying the Social Security and take your money out of Social Security, all that stuff. It doesn't happen that way. It's not automatic. It doesn't happen that way. So you're fine. Okay?
So how does Social Security find out how much income I have?
They don't look into it. Once you're at that retirement time, you retired, they pay you so much per month no matter what. If they raise it by inflation, by law, by Congress, they raise it. If they don't, they don't. It has nothing to do with your income anymore. They pay you that whatever they believe they're entitled to, without regard to what you have may or not filed at 10 for income tax confession form, slavery form with the IRS. Okay?
I've been told by Social Security that until I believe I'm 70 years old, it might be 68, but I can only earn so much. Otherwise, if I go over that amount, then they start like taking some of it back.
If you file a 1040 income tax slave confession form with the IRS, yes. Right? If you do not file a 1040 income tax slavery confession form, no, you are free.
Okay. And one more, if it's all right, Payman. One more question. It's kind of, I hope you don't get offended by it, but so I like the idea. I understand that I can join Freedom Law School and you'll take care of everything. Mm-hmm. But I like the idea of filling out the documents, sending it all myself. I feel like it helps me to understand what you're teaching. It helps me to grasp it. And so I like the idea of doing it on my own. I think it helps me to learn and absorb this material you're teaching. Mm-hmm. But of course, I don't want the hassles of fighting with the IRS either. So I guess long and short of it, if I start this process and on my own, and at some point the IRS starts coming after me, can I come to you, join your school, and would you take me on and fight the battle for me? I know that sounds terrible. I know that sounds so terrible. And I don't be afraid of hurting my feelings. I think the question deserves it.
Okay.
But if I came to you then, when after the IRS is coming after me, would you take me on?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Okay.
Because here's why. Because my goal is to restore freedom in America. I came from Iran, land of unfree. We could not criticize the king. Shah of Iran was dictator, censored the newspapers. You could not criticize him. You go to jail. You'd be tortured, perhaps. Come to America, land of the free, home of the brave. And I see what? You Americans have become slaves, no longer free? What? How did that happen? I saw Wild Wild West on television. I saw Clint Eastwood and John Wayne in movies. America was a free country in the Western days. What happened to America? Huh? So I became a Libertarian Party activist as soon as I became an American naturalized citizen in 89. And my cause is freedom. I got into all this about income tax because I realized, wait a minute, if we do not have to legally pay federal income taxes, we have more money for ourselves, which I needed as a poor young man in my 20s. I needed every dollar to survive. And we have extra money to contribute to get people who believe in freedom and Constitution, American people's rights first, elected into office. People like Congressman Ron Paul or Thomas Massey. Okay, which we not get them because these billionaires buy the corrupt people to be politicians for their benefit. The Epstein billionaire gang, they own our government. Now, it's nice to have the money, but guess what? There's only one of me. And there's only a few people that I've trained to know this stuff very well. And I'm telling you, we're going to be next year, we're going to be on a lot of bigger podcasts than Margie Taylor Greene. We're going to be in Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Theo Vaughn, these other guys. We're going to be on a lot of these. I'm going to go a lot bigger. So, although I theoretically I could take your case if I have enough time, if you become a member and take a previous year problem without a guarantee, and you probably have messed it up anyhow because you may have done the wrong things in our absence, perhaps. Sometimes people do. I cannot guarantee that for you. I may be just too busy and say, no, sorry, I can't take any more cases of people who are not our students already, because I got to put the cases of our existing students first, because I committed to them. Because they committed to the freedom cause now, they want to put the money where the mouth is. Instead of paying King of England the 3% T-tax, they decided to put that to from King George, gave it to George Washington's and Friends Company to restore freedom in America. So that's where my first loyalty is. So, but even if I do take your case, and if I do it for you if I have the time to do it, like I said, there'd be no guarantee on that whatsoever. You have to pay extra for that as well. And you have to, at that time, join and maintain your Restore Freedom Plan membership every year forward as well. So given that, you might find it a lot simpler to just become a Restore Freedom Plan member. And remember, the membership is only 30% of what you otherwise would have paid the IRS. If you pay the IRS normally $10,000, the membership only $3,000, the difference of $7,000 you get to keep. And the minimum membership is only $2,000 a year. About half of our members are $2,000 a year level. And that tells me a lot of people in America are hurting. I know that. I was young and poor one day. So, and I know a lot of people are so scared, older, very poor too. So that's why I've not raised the minimum $2,000, even to start a plan several years ago, over 3 years ago, $2,000 minimum. Guess what? I haven't raised it with inflation. Because I know many of you don't make that much, and that minimum allows you, more of you, to join a program and stay with it. Okay? So that's your options. At the end, it's your call. Whatever you want to do, Paul, I appreciate and respect and love you. Don't give your money to a swamp, to criminals at all. You'll be left alone 99+% of the time anyways. But if you want a 100% guarantee, the only way to do it is to join the Restore Freedom Plan and maintain your membership after that every year. Any other questions, Paul?
No, thank you so much, Payman.
You're
Keep
welcome.
doing what you're doing.
You're welcome, my friend. But let me say something, guys, Paul. How old are you, Paul?
I am 50. No, I am 65 this year.
Okay. Paul, you said you retired?
Yeah, just last year.
Last year. Well, why? I'm 63. I'm still going at it. You're not that old, brother. Do you live in Oakland area, 500 area code?
No, I used to, but I'm currently in North Carolina.
Okay.
And getting ready to head to Tennessee.
Do you have a job waiting for you there?
No, I'm retired. I'm retired. I don't want to work anymore.
Well, why not?
I'll work for myself. I'll do little things on the side, but that's it.
Well, do you want to work for me? I'll pay you. Work for me part-time?
I not at this time. I just picked up a fixer-upper, and yeah, right after you were talking about don't buy a house. But I just picked up a fixer-upper, and I plan on going and making that into a beautiful primary residence.
Well, because the way you sounded like to me, like you were barely making it, you cannot afford to join the Restore Freedom Plan membership. You want to do it on your own for that reason. But if you bought a fixer-upper, you ain't doing too bad. I'm just saying that, look, you are not that old. I would suggest. But at the same time, let's face it, Paul. You and I live most of our lives already. Whether we live to be 80 years or 100 years old or more, we don't know, right? But
yeah.
You know what? To me, I want my life to amount to something. I was put in here for something bigger, something more important. To do the right thing and do a loving thing. Okay? And when I leave, I know I've done my best. I'll be happy with my life and what I've done. And I suggest, my friend, you could do the same for yourself. Don't worry about the money. Okay? Stand for what you believe in. You're an entrepreneur. You got to fix it upper. You know, do something with it. Don't worry about the IRS. If you're going to be doing that, you are working then. Okay? You can do it on your own if you want to, but I suggest you may want to give a part of that to Restore Freedom Plan so your children and your grandchildren that you love will be free even more than you. So with that, thank you for calling, Paul. I appreciate your calling to us. We have more calls waiting for us. Area code 36, area code caller. But he's a last caller, I think, right? If you have a question, call now. The numbers to call is 424-552-1299 and press 1 on your telephone keypad. To ask a question, dial 424-552-1299 and then press 1 on your telephone keypad to be next after the 360 area code caller, who will give me now his name, how he heard about us, and then your question, please.
Paymon. Hello, Paymon. Can you hear me okay, sir?
Yes.
Fantastic. So I heard about you only recently when a Marjorie Taylor Greene interview surfaced in my feed when I was doing some tax research. And my big question that I have has to do with I'm currently an employer of approximately 35 employees, and the idea fascinates me. But as I'm locked into a business and struggling just to keep up with all the taxes in my home state as well as the constant 941 payroll taxes, it just doesn't leave much behind. I mean, you go into a business thinking you're going to be an entrepreneur, create some jobs, and I end up paying my employees biggest expense, taxes next biggest expense, and there's months I often don't even bring something home, and put money back in to prop up the business from time to time as well. So that's the situation. Is how does one who has a business that employs people, that are W-2 employees, how does one create a business that can basically execute on the concepts you're teaching?
I'm glad you asked, because I created an employer freedom plan for people just like you. After you join the Restore Freedom Plan yourself, you have your business become Employer Freedom Plan member. Okay, I put it on my screen. Okay, the way you get there, you go under Plans on the top center right area. Employee Freedom Plan is the bottom one on that page. You click on that, Employee Freedom Plan will come up. Okay, I'm sorry, second from bottom, I should say. And the plan is very simple. You stop income tax withholding from pay of your employees. You stop taking FICA and federal employment taxes out of your employees' paychecks. You stop matching the FICA and the federal unemployment out of the employee's paycheck. So all those payroll taxes, 941s, all that, you stop them all. You no longer will send false W-2 forms to the IRS telling them that you paid your employees taxable income. You will no longer send false 1099 forms to the IRS saying that the independent contractors that you have worked with, that you paid them taxable income. Okay? So all that will be enough for you and your employees to keep for free. And all your employees are protected by our Employer Freedom Plan. It's the greatest benefit you can give to any employee. You have to pay for your individual membership as a Restore Freedom Plan member 30% of what you would have otherwise paid the IRS. So let's say you would have paid the IRS, for example, let's say put $100,000, for example. You don't pay the IRS $100,000. You contribute to the Restore Freedom Plan 30% of that. And then the other $70,000 difference, you have to keep for yourself. However, your employees, they are in a far better position than you. Okay? They don't pay nothing. The 5% is only, the membership is only 5% of the payroll. Is it 30%? It's 1/6. Not 30%, but only 5%. You pay that. And then you don't have to pay all the accountant and CPAs and payroll companies, all the paperwork and hassle expense, keeping track of every little expense and depreciation and all that stuff for the IRS. Master, you save all that accounting expense and hassle and worries. No more signing in any of those IRS forms at all. Okay? Your membership is 30%, but it's only 5% for the Restore Employee Freedom Plan. And we do the petitions for each of your employees so they're individually protected with our petition to Congress saying, hey, show me the law that requires me to file and pay income and payroll taxes. Otherwise, I'm not going to pay because you're not showing me the law that requires me to file and pay income and payroll taxes, just like you be doing. Why should I file and pay income and payroll taxes with withholding for my employees if there's no law requiring me to do so? You ask your congressman first before you stop doing that. So, in that case now, let's suppose you have $1 million payroll, for example, a year. In that $1 million, okay, only you pay probably between payroll taxes and income tax withholding from your employees. I'm guessing it's probably about $250,000, around that, maybe a quarter of your entire payroll. That $250,000 is hurting your company. You only give to our Employee Freedom Plan only $50,000, only 5% of the $1 million payroll, and the other $200,000 is between you and your employees. Now, immediately, your employees will get a big pay raise, pay chunk, and they're going to be very happy. Your savings initially will be only about 2.65% because you're paying 5%. Payroll taxes are about 7.625%. So, but because you gave your employees that big pay raise, they're going to be very happy with you. They're going to want to stay with you because if they go to anybody else, they're going to get a pay cut by the employer stealing money out of their paycheck and give it to the IRS income and payroll taxes that they should not withhold out of your employee's paycheck to begin with. So in the next couple of 3 years, guess what? You can just give your employees not as big a raise as you otherwise would have. In the next few years, you can make it you get to share in that savings. Over a course of a few years, you can phase that in. Now, you're better off, your employees are better off, your company's more profitable, and now you can grow because it's easier for you to attract good employees and keep them because you pay more than your competition in your industry. So that's the key to success, especially now. And as end of the economic cycle, inflation will become the Great Depression coming up soon in the next year to 4 years. For sure it's going to happen. Your company will want to survive and prosper versus your competition that along with inflation, the bad economy, drove themselves to the ground. So I suggest you go to our website, check out the 7 steps to free yourself and the Employer Freedom Plan. It's there. And check it out. And remember, all the work will be done by Freedom Law School. Unlimited consultation. All legal work done by us. We pay the attorneys out of our pocket. You pay no additional funds. Just maintain your membership in there. Your Store Freedom Plan and your Employee Freedom Plan. Okay? And all you gotta do is now relax and focus on your life, your business, and your family to success. Any other questions?
Yeah, fantastic. And then, and it's probably explained. I guess my next question would have to do with how my clients pay. Does that impact the banking process of people paying by check, ACA?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What's your first name? Because you got cut off. What's your first name again?
It's Nick.
Nick, all right. Would you say a question again because you got cut off? Say it again, please.
Yeah, as far as the business banking, aspect of things, how payments are received and checks dispersed to employees or to other vendors that support our business, et cetera. Is that impacted by going down this road? I mean, is it does that just kind of flow in a normal fashion?
That changes as much as how often you wash your laundry.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm pretty fastidious about that, so.
Okay, Nick. Yeah. Life will not change. The only thing you stop doing is making yourself and the employees poorer. That's all. You're saving your company from... like another Minnesota called me, it was last week, I think it was 2 weeks ago. He called me, he said, Paymon, my business is going bad. I got employees. Things are going down. I think I'm going to have to probably, close it and go start be the employee for somebody else. I told him, why? Why would you do that? Just stop making yourself poor and your employees poor and your business poor by giving money to the IRS. Your business will prosper. That's what I do at Freedom Law School. At Freedom Law School, I pay people. I withhold out of their paychecks zero. Absolutely zero. They get the whole thing. Why not? They're happier. I'm happier. Simpler. Here's your money. Go home, do what you want with it.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yep. That's awesome. One of the things that made America great. We prospered and grew from 13 states in 1700s to the most prosperous nation on earth by 20th century. Look at all the great inventions that we did after the 1860s. We had telegraph before that, but, we had the telephone, electricity, automobiles, airplanes, all these things. Radio were created before the income tax slavery system. That was the engine of freedom was the engine of American ingenuity. Now we're slaves. We can't afford to be ingenious anymore. By being not slaves, we can be grown once again, and your business can prosper once again.
Well, that sounds fantastic. Well, I'll follow up. I'll go to the website and deep dive and see where the path takes us. That's awesome. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
You're welcome. My pleasure, Nick. All right. I think we're done with any questions we have on the call. But, folks, if you have a question, You can call right now to get a question. Right now, dial 424-552-1299 and press 1 on your telephone keypad. Dial 424-552-1299. Then you press 1 on your keypad. I will take your question next. Let's go online, guys. Does you have any questions online? Gentlemen, do we have anything until somebody calls in? Any questions there? Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Lily Liberty 2000 says, I took your advice and filed a 0 on the federal tax last year through my human resource department. What are their payroll taxes? Can I stop this deal? I did not advise you to file 0 on the federal tax. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I think you sound like you're saying put 0 on your 1040 to get the money back, which I don't recommend, or you put our form on our website to start withholding from your paycheck. I think that's what you mean, perhaps. Okay, but payroll taxes, the problem with that is that the employers believe they have to steal that from your paycheck because there's a CPA account that tells them, hey, by law, you have to do payroll taxes from employees' paycheck, otherwise you might go to prison. IRS might take everything you got. You don't want that, do you? Oh, well, listen to me. Don't listen to this. Hey, you, who wants to pay no payroll taxes? So that's the problem you got there. Although by law, they're not supposed to do that. Look at the last call we got, Nick. Okay? Hopefully he'll educate himself and have himself be free. Not a slave of the IRS. And hopefully he'll have his 35 employees no longer be slaves of the IRS either if he takes the time to educate himself. So the problem is you got to get your employee educated about all this stuff, like Nick hopefully will do, and educate him that, hey, you can stop payroll withholding and all income tax withholding from my check and all the employees of the company. All right? So I suggest you try to do that if you can. Hopefully you don't work for a big mega corporation that don't listen to you. Maybe you have a small employer like Nick with 35 employees who's more open to listening to this stuff. Folks, call us. Talk to your employer. Yes. Fast track your success. Give it to your boss at your job or Restore Freedom. Both these brochures, 12 pages total, show you that no law requires 99% of Americans to file for income or payroll taxes. 50,000 reward if I'm wrong. Okay, call us at 813-444-4800. We'll mail them to you for free. That's right, 813-444-4800. We give you as many as you want for free. Get them out to your co-workers, to your boss, company owner, anybody you know, neighbors, friends, anybody you love and care about. Give them a chance to be free. By the way, if you join our Restore Freedom plan and you put your name and phone number at the back bottom of the white area, when they join, we'll give you cash. Cash in the mail, gold or crypto, for referring somebody who joined our Restore Freedom plan as our thank you for you opening your mouth and tell other people about freedom. All right, I think we have a new caller right now that's just calling from area code 929. 929 area code caller, give me your first name. I heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please. Are you there? Area code 929 caller. You just called in. You're live, my friend. I can barely hear you. Speak up. You're away from your microphone. Get close to your microphone. We can't hear you at all.
Hello?
Yes, now I hear you.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, hi. Hi, Peter. Hi, Paymont.
Hi. What is your name?
My name is Gabriela. I have called before. This is my second time calling.
Okay. And how may I help you?
Yeah, I have a question. I have investments, and somebody was looking at my positions, and they suggested that I have to sell and buy another thing. So it's going to be a lot of cashing and losing money, and then their theme is that, so if your gains and losses, the taxes, and they're constantly talking about the taxes. So I'm in this dilemma because I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble by selling and buying and then losing and gaining. It's gonna be a very different scenario for me, like I've never been into. So any suggestions or any ideas?
Yes. Stop filing and paying income taxes altogether anyways. Period. On your own, for free. Or if you want to guarantee, join our Restore Freedom Plan. You have two choices.
Oh, okay. But do you think I can get in trouble because of selling? I'm going to have like mostly losses, but these people, the financial people, they think that they're going to try to even, so I don't have to pay so much taxes. And they're constantly talking about the taxes, and the taxes is a big deal for the stock market and investments.
Look, just from now on, you can be free. Don't file and pay income tax, and you will not need all these accounts, all these gimmicks and games to lower the taxes that you never owed in the first place to begin with.
Yeah, that's what they want to do, the gain and losses, so then I'm going to pay less taxes, or the less as possible. But they don't think, I don't know, I think I'm going to, according to the paperwork, I'm going to owe taxes to the,
No. Did you file for an extension for 2025 already?
No.
Did you file a 1040 tax form for your 2025 by April 15th?
No.
Okay, then you're fine. You can join the Restore Freedom Plan.
Because I've been listening to you.
I'm sorry?
I've been listening to your program, and then I've been listening to your program for a while, so I have learned some of your strategies.
Oh, strategy is the law. That's our strategy. Follow the law. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. All right. So, thank you so much, as usual, and I appreciate your time and help.
You're welcome. My pleasure to help you out, Gabriela. Just continue to watch our videos at freedomlawschool.org and call us at 813-444-4800. One of my people here will be glad to be on the phone with you, answer your question, and guide you through the pages on our website. We'll answer your questions for you fully so you can feel safe and secure before you go forward and take the chains of our slavery off your back forever. Be free and prosperous.
Oh, thank you. One more question. Do I need to file the extension? I did not. I have not. Only one time, and that stopped.
You haven't. That's okay. You already. If you were going to do it, you would have done it by April 15th. But you didn't do it right now. That's fine. More reason why you need to do your petitions to Congress as soon as possible. Whether you join our Restore Freedom Plan or not, you need to do petitions to Congressman right away about the issue of income tax. You need to do that right away.
All right.
Okay, so go to.
Okay.
So step 4, question your authority, and our 7-step program is the key step. You can do it on your own for free, or you can join our Restore Freedom Plan. We'll do it for you. All right, Gabriela?
All right.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
calling.
Simon. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July.
Thank you. Happy Independence Day for you as well. Thank you for calling. I appreciate that, Gabriela, for you calling. That's right. That's before next Tuesday, 4th of July, isn't it, guys? So, yeah. Saturday, yeah, that's right. Yeah, happy Independence Day for everybody, folks. Independence means what? You are free. Independence from King of England. Well, declare your independence now. Write your petition to Congress. Question them, hey, what law requires me to file and pay federal income tax? If you don't show me the law, do not show me that I'm wrong, I will not file and pay any more income taxes, folks. Same goes for payroll taxes, estate taxes, corporate taxes, wagering taxes, gun manufacturing taxes, gift and generation skipping taxes, federal, all that. You don't know any of that stuff at all, okay? So, all right, we got a question online before we go to 3 callers from area code 406, then area code 434, And then another one from area code 405. Okay. Online, Mick Peugeot says, what a pretty nice name. Peugeot. My dad had a car in Iran. It was a Peugeot. It was a French car. Anyhow. Paymon mentioned the retired man if he wanted to work part-time for Paymon. I'm retired. I live in Texas. How can I work part-time for Freedom Law School? Come on down to Florida. Seriously. We're growing. I need good people, good patriots. Give us a call. 813-444-4800. Yes, we need good people to help us reach more people, educate more people, answer their questions, guide them through our website, because people, understandably, when you hear about this stuff, it sounds too good to be true. And they need somebody with love, care, and patience to educate them, to deprogram up the lies of the decades that they're slaves, that they cannot take the chains of IRS slavery off their neck, but they can take it off, throw it away, and be free. So yes, thank you, Meg. Give us a call, 813-444-4800. Tell anybody, whoever answers, that you heard me on the Freedom Hour, and I suggested you call. You mention that, okay? And ask for a manager if you need to talk to him. Say, Paymon said, looking for help. I'm from Texas. And it's Paymon said, call and ask for a manager. Okay? Thank you, Meg. Let's go now to have the caller from area code 406. Caller, please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Yes, my name's Ernie, and I actually heard about you, listened to a podcast with Joe Bannister on there, and he's the one that mentioned you quite a bit in there too. So my question is that when I was self-employed, between 10, 15 years ago, I'm 65 now, and I owed about $38,000 in taxes, federal income tax, and hadn't paid it, and get the letters, but they've never levied anything about, that I had or tried to put a lien on anything. They just always threatened to. And then in end of 2024, I went ahead and got one of those tax people that help you, you pay them and then they help you. And I got a hardship approval where they delayed it or postponed it, and I didn't have to pay anything. And then last year in 2025, I didn't know this existed, but I got 2 letters from the IRS stating that, I guess it's called a CSED for the collection expired when I was under the hardship approval. So they said that 22,000 of it had gotten knocked off, but that I still owed it, and they could possibly file a future federal lien on me. So basically I'm down to, because I still work now part-time, and I get a refund every year, and they just keep it, of course, and apply it to any past tax that I've owed. So I'm down now to about 6,000 that gets that I keep saying that CSED, I think that's what it's called, but they can't collect it anymore. And both the remaining amount expires in November of 27. So my question is once it falls and out of their 10-year collection rule or law, can they still come after me for that?
Nope. Any other questions?
Well, the threatening letter about the federal lien and stuff,
after the 10-year time they have for collection of tax expires, they can renew that for another 10 years, but that is rarely done. They may do it, but very, very likely not. In your case, it's so small, I'll be very surprised if they were to renew it. So as you said, based upon what you said, in November 2027, about a year plus from now, that all that would probably go away.
Yes.
All right?
Yes,
Any other questions,
I did
Ernie?
get the transcript, and that's what it showed.
Yep.
So that was the question, is just if they can continue it, because I thought I read something in their rules or regulations is that if they're going to file an extension, they have to do it before the CSD happens. They can't do it after the CSD happens.
I don't know what CSD you keep saying stands for. I don't remember all these abbreviations. All I know is you said basically that in November 2027 it'll expire. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're good.
Okay. Well, that just gives me affirmation. Thank you very much, Raymond.
You're welcome. My pleasure, Ernie. Thank you for calling. We have now the 434 area code caller. Please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Yes, Payman, it's Bill again. Marjorie Taylor Greene. We talked earlier about my employer not likely to honor my request to claim exempt from federal income tax. You gave me one option, which is basically, quit and start working, doing something else. Then I heard, and I'm 71, and I got lots of fight in me left, and I've always worked for companies that I believed in, was making an impact. So when you gave Nick, I think, the opportunity to come work for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to stay on this call, and I'm going to push one again and talk with Payman. But then I think you might have answered the question. I just want to confirm it, that the only option for working for Freedom Law School would be to relocate physically in Florida. I'm in Central Virginia, and for a lot of reasons, Florida would not be an option, but I just want to confirm that's the only way I could possibly work for Freedom Law School, correct? By being physically in Florida?
Well, on an hourly basis, yes, because you gotta be trained properly to answer phone calls to people correctly. I can have somebody in some other location I've never seen answer people's calls and then not make sure that he knows what he's talking about. So you got to come here and train and be supervised to make sure you answer people's questions. People call sometimes with difficult questions, and my people come to me, and other people say, what do I do? What do I say to this guy? He got this situation, that situation. What do I tell him? So you can handle those things at your home. But there's a way you can work for Freedom Law School and for yourself, really, and that is join a Restore Freedom plan, okay? And we'll mail you our Restore Freedom brochure and Fast Track Your Success brochures. Both of these show on the back that and in 12 pages, no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income and pay all taxes. Okay, put your name and phone number at the bottom of this brochures in a white area, and then go pass them out to people in front of supermarkets, in the dentist offices, in the mechanics offices, in doctors' offices, okay? And then when people call, we always ask them, how did you hear about us? You know why I ask you how you heard about us, everybody? You know why? Because I want to make sure that I acknowledge and pay people like you who go out there pass out our brochures to other people. So there's a guy right now, I was told by my finance guy, Payman, we got to pay this person about $20,000. Actually, $23,000. So a couple of three people, one of them is about $20,000 because we referred somebody. I'm glad. I'm happy to pay that guy $20,000 because we referred somebody else. Okay? Because it's a total win-win for American people, for each of them, and for us and our organization to expand our work and restore freedom in America. You can do the same thing right now. Just go out there and in front of supermarkets, the easiest places, and talk to people. And something else, I can tell you are in much better physical shape than the other people who called in their 60s, even though you're 70, like you said. Go talk to business owners.
How did you know that?
Huh?
I mean, I'm probably in the. How did you know that? I'm in the probably top 1%. I'm ripped and I work hard at it. And I'm just starting the second half of my life at 71. So
yeah, because your voice shows, your voice is very, very, very clear and strong still. Your voice is a reflection of your state of your health, your vitality, I could tell. So you go talk to business owners in the area. You go walk in there, talk to them. And guess what? You're not some 20-year-old young guy in high school trying to sell you solar, okay, or some other little thing. You are an older gentleman with white hair, and they're talking with a senior statesman, look, as you are, ask you to talk to the business owner. They'll respect you. They'll listen to you. You can talk to the owner. The owner will talk to you and tell them, hey, you want your business to prosper and grow? How you doing? How you people doing? Have you given them pay raises enough lately? No? I tell you what, we can have you stop employee withholding altogether and yourself too with a guarantee 100%. Okay? I mean, I'm summarizing. But, we'll talk to them. And you'd be surprised. Some of these guys, not all of them, but some of them will be like the caller we got, Nick, who called from Miracle 360. I'm the business owner with 35 employees. Do I have to pay all those 941 taxes he was asking? I told him, no. You can be free. You don't pay income tax. Your employees don't have anything taxed out of their paycheck. You don't do matching withholding of payroll taxes, and you're better off choose employees. So I suggest you go do that. In fact, that pays more than if you be in the office and pay you hourly, because that 50%.
Okay.
If the guy's membership is 50,000 or 500,000, what's half of that?
Okay, you're touching the entrepreneurial spirit in me. I used to run a business, and I've also been an employee, but I believed in everything I've done, entrepreneurially as well as employment. So I get these brochures, I pass them out, but I don't have to do the training. These people just have to contact Freedom Law School,
yes.
and they will ask how you found out about Freedom Law School, and my name will be on the brochure. Is that how that works?
That's right. So you put your name and phone number on the brochure. Join the Restore Freedom Plan yourself, okay? So that way, because that gets you 50%. Otherwise, if you don't do that first, you get 25%, which gets applied to your membership first. Then you get 50%. So be protected, get paid more from the get-go. And I can tell you're an entrepreneurial type. Yeah. And then follow up with them. You don't just, you know about sales. You don't just give somebody, hand it over and never come back. You got to follow up with people. Hold people's hands, right? That you're real. That you mean it. That, you care, right? And that follow up will make a difference.
I love it.
Yeah, there you go, man. And in fact, folks, I did this because I wanted entrepreneurial people like Bill to put their talents, energies into Restore Freedom rather than selling this, that, the other, or whatever they do, or doing that, the other business. That's why I do this. I want to put my talent, my God-given energy and intelligence toward restoring freedom. So if you want to do that, my friends, call us, 813-444-4800. We'll get you these brochures, pass them out to people, put your name and phone number back, join Restore Freedom Plan, love the truth, spread the truth, and be prosperous and free at the same time. Anything else, Bill?
I love it. One more question.
Yes.
With all the money I make, you'll send me a 1099, right?
I love your sense of humor, my friend. Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless. Hey, by the way, Bill, do you have grandchildren? Bill, how many grandchildren do you have?
I'm sorry, I have 8 children, homeschooled, 1 wife, 47 years of marriage, and 7 grandchildren at this point. So having fun. It. But I can't come to Florida. I love your plan.
That's okay, Bill.
Your idea. And
you got me beat. I only had 5 kids. You got 8. You beat me at that, brother. So kudos to you for doing 8. So one of the first things I do, Bill, sign up and educate your children. Bring them over, give them all good food. Guys, I got great news for you going to the opposite. Just love it. You're going to love this after dinner. Put it in front of your big TV or 7 steps. Just put in an hour or 2 the first time, okay? Show the one video for each of the first few steps, and then they get whet the appetite. Give them the brochure. Bring them back like a week later and show them more videos, because you start with those closest to you that you love the most first, right? And then your grandchildren too, of course. And you've done a great job, so I'm glad you called. No wonder you're very, got a lot of vitality in you still, Bill. Thank you for calling, my friend.
God bless you. Thank you, family.
God bless you, brother. My pleasure. Okay. 405 area code caller left. He got tired of waiting, I guess, huh? Okay. Well, if you want to call right now, I still got time. You can call me right now at calling 424-552-1299 and press 1 on your telephone keypad. 424-552-1299. If you have a question, dial 1 on your telephone keypad. I will take your call right now. Any questions online, guys? We good there? Gentlemen, we good online? All right. Let's see. No more caller on right now either. Well, there's a question, I guess, online. Let's see. Douglas says, if I quit this job and start another job, how do I keep from paying taxes at my new job? Well, I'm glad you asked, Doug. It's easy. Go to our website, freedomlawschool.org. On the top center right area, go to on the right. On the right, the menu comes down, and on the last thing at the bottom is free yourself from tax withholding. Click on that, and there it is. It takes you to this page that gives you the directions on video, directions in writing, how to do it, the forms of there. So if you have any further questions about after you read all this, you're welcome to call us at 813-444-4800. Okay? All right, let's see. We got another question online. Doug also says, I have a question about future employers. I'm a Freedom member, and I was thinking about moving to Tennessee and finding a job down there. And I was wondering, what do I do about the W-4 with a new employer? Well, first of all, good job for moving to a state which officially states they don't have a state income tax like Tennessee. It's one of the 8 states that does not have a personal income tax. So that's a good move to go to that state. And what happened to his message? He went. So what do you do about a W-4 with a new employer? I just showed you. Same thing. That page on our website, okay? Free yourself from withholding. It's all there on that page. You must do your petitions to Congress at the same time or beforehand as soon as possible, okay? To the about if for individual taxes petition, employment taxes petition, and self-employment tax and 1099s. Do all that. Instructions are on our website. Call us if you have a question at 813-444-4800. All right. No more questions on by telephone, and we have a question online from Honey Dun Beat. What about if they have a tax lien of $636 on my person from comptroller? That is an incomplete question, but I will do my best to answer your question. Okay, a lien is a claim on any real estate or home that you own in a county where you live at. I believe because you said your comptroller, you mean the payroll person at your company. Okay, so you mean a levy. Levy is when they take your bank account or part of your paycheck. Okay, I don't have a magic silver wand to just make it go away. I don't know why you owe them $636. It's probably too late to do something about that. But what you can do is from now on, stop income tax stealing, withholding by your employer on our website, okay, at freedomlawschool.org, and stop filing a 10 for income tax slavery confession forms and no more telling the IRS that you owe them money because you don't. And they keep your money and save it. Okay. All right. We have another question from from the same person. If the comptroller of my estate has a tax lien against me for $600, how am I do deal with that without giving the fruits of my labor? Again, you keep saying control of your estate and a lien. Lien is Liens are harmless. Liens don't do anything. Okay? They sit there. Only if you have real estate, the real estate home sale or refinancing, they take money out. So lien does not affect you. Levy is what the concern is. So you got to be more clear about what you mean. If they gave you a letter about a lien, that means nothing. I didn't receive letters, he says. None I've seen, and I checked the email. On judicial case search, I have a closed case tax lien. I'm not sure what you mean by closed case. Look, why don't you send a copy of these papers to freedomlawschool.org, okay? Send it to us by email or fax or U.S. mail. And call us after you send it to us. Make sure we get it. Tell them it's for the next Tuesday night Freedom Hour. Okay? They'll have your paper here in front of me. Let me see it. I'll go over that with you, with us, on the phone call next time. And I can give you accurate, correct answers based upon the paperwork of your case. Because this way, I cannot see what you got. I cannot give you a proper diagnosis. Any more than a doctor that will not give you a proper diagnosis of your illness without having you come for a checkup or visit an examination first. Okay? We have another questioner from It's Rare. It's a real true secret. If someone's worked for a town or county government, can we opt out of income tax, or is such a job considered a government employee? There's no opting out, first of all. You never owed the federal income tax to begin with. Okay? You were deceived into signing those 10 for income tax slavery confession forms to the IRS every year and declaring that you owe the IRS money. You can stop that. Because the people that have to file up income tax are citizens and residents of Washington, D.C. See, as my brochure says right here inside of it, okay? You were deceived into reporting and paying income taxes that you never owed in the first place. Okay? The 1040 U.S. individual income tax form, it's actually a District of Columbia individual income tax form. They should call this form a D.C. individual income tax form, not the U.S. individual income tax form. Okay? So that's the problem. You were deceived into filing income taxes to a foreign country of District of Columbia. It's a different country as opposed to each of the 50 countries or states in America. United States of America. It's United Countries of America. Just like France, Germany, Italy are countries within the European Union. They have a union. We have a union in America also. That's why the president gives every year to Congress a State of the Union address, not a state of a country address. Okay? So, yeah, you can stop income tax withholding, and even if you work for the federal government, you only pay income tax if you perform that work inside of District of Columbia. If you work for the federal government and your work is outside of District of Columbia, you don't have to file income tax at all. Okay? We have another question from Iman Kitts. My mom is afraid to get a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. That's what it stands for. It's basically a loan. You can get a home loan based upon equity you have in the value you have in your home. Because she thinks the IRS will come and try to get her to use it to pay her taxes, like they did when she go to a second on her mortgage. Any thoughts on that? Oh, like they did when she had a second. Yeah, well, she's correct. If the IRS has an existing lien on the home, in the county where your mom lives and owns the home, and when she refinanced, they took some money out of that refinance on a second, and there's more money of that lien still left out there to pay the IRS, yes, out of the home equity line of credit HELOC that she gets, the IRS will take the money first before your mom gets any money. So you should check to see how much your mom owes the IRS, if anything, before choosing to go forward and do the HELOC loan or not. Okay? You have your questions, call right now, 424-552-1299 and press 1. To get your question answered now, call 424-552-1299 and press 1. Okay? Any more questions online? I think we're good for right now. We're done? All right. Okay. Brothers and sisters, I love you all. Thank you for being with me and spending this time with me. I appreciate your questions, and I'll try to do my best to help you all live free. Remember this. It was no accident that you came across Freedom Law School. You want to live free, you were meant to live free. So continue your journey to freedom at freedomlawschool.org and be free, prosperous, with more space and joyous for your family once again. I'll be back with you next Tuesday night.